Hello, what is up guys? EvilDoUsHarm here today, back with another Blade and Soul video. Today's video is the return of the much loved and much anticipated First Things to Do After Level 60 video series, only this time I'm rebranding it as more of a beginner new player guide type of video to try and make it easier to find for newer players. We're going to walk through the entirety of the new player experience in Blade and Soul, so not everything here is going to apply to you, especially if you're a returning player trying to figure out what you should do, but I'm going to step through all the way to like the mid-tier of legendary gear in the game and tell you how to get there step by step. So we're literally going to start from the very beginning all the way at character creation and work our way to this point. So because there is so much you have to do as a new player and have to get through, I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, which means there are going to be many points in the video where I call to another video I've already created on the channel that covers the topic in more detail. I'm going to give you a very brief description of what you need to do in this video, and if you need more information or more guidance than that, go ahead and click the link in the description below. And because this video is going to be super long, I want to get into it, but real quick before we get started, if you're new to the channel, new to Blade and Soul, or enjoy the content on the channel, please consider subscribing. We're getting really close to that 20K number that I really wanted to hit, and every single subscription helps me to get to that target. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it and let's start from character creation. So the biggest question I get asked by new players all of the time is, what class should I play? And the honest answer to that question is you should play whatever class you're going to enjoy the most. Blade and Soul is an MMORPG. If you don't like your class you selected at character selection, if you don't find it fun because you picked the flavor of the month character or whatnot, you're going to end up getting bored and quit the game. So with that being said, Blade and Soul has a built-in feature to let you try any class before you pick it if you want to make it your main character. All you got to do is navigate to the Create a New Character tab, go ahead and double-click that to start character creation. Select whatever class you want to do. Let's say we want to try an assassin. Click Next. Go ahead and skip through this portion here, pick your server, and then you're going to get this option right here. You want to go ahead and select the level 50 option. Name your character whatever you want, and go ahead and click Complete Creation, Confirm, and it's going to launch you into the training room with a level 50 character. You cannot play as this character unless you buy a voucher. You can't play the main game, but what you can do is log into that character and go to the Hong Moon training room. After you play through the stupid bit of tutorial in the training room, you can go ahead and hit Training List, go Dungeon, and pick any enemy or main boss in the game, or just about all the bosses in the game. So say we wanted to do the Raven King, and you will have access to all of the skills that that character would have at level 50, which is the super majority of skills in the game. You're only missing out on the ultimate skills that came out at the level 55 patch. So you can try out all the rotations for the character, try out all the different skills, see which ones you enjoy the best and will have the most fun with. If you find that you don't enjoy the character, go ahead and hit Change Character at the bottom right corner, Change Character, and after you get done with it, just go ahead and click on the character and click Delete Character. This is the same thing you're going to do after you find one that you like. You just have to go back through the character creation process and recreate the character that you did want or the class that you did want, except at level 1 instead of level 50. There is a 5-minute timer between this, so you will have 2 slots as a new player, so you can just alternate back and forth between the 2 until you find something you like. Another neat thing that people don't know about in character creation is that you can upload any appearance or download appearances off the internet of any character that you've seen in game as long as someone shares you their appearance file. All you gotta do is get the file, click apply, and then your character's appearance will change to that preset. If you're looking for a good place with tons of presets, this website right here that I have no idea how to pronounce, I'll put the link in the description below, but they have tons of presets you can go through. Just pick, download the file, and upload them to your game. But that's basically going to summarize everything we're going to take a look at in character creation. If you need more info on character creation, check out the videos in the link in the description below. So now we're going to take a look at the story progression in Blade and Soul and basically what you should be doing to level up your character. And the answer is really quite simple. Do all of the yellow quests as they come available. Any orange quests that pop into your side stories option via letters here, make sure you do those as well. And you're going to want to do the windwalking quests as they become available. The first one starts in Jadestone Village. The rest of them will come to you via letter. So basically, if it's yellow, purple, or orange, you do those quests. That's going to take you up to about HM14, very, very close to HM14. Which is basically the Hong Moon progression system in the game. It's the overleveling or the prestige system if you've played any types of games that use those systems. By pressing the P key on the keyboard, you get access to additional stats that you can distribute based on your Hong Moon points that you have. Basically, every overlevel you get 5 points to distribute however you want. As a new player, I recommend 20 offense, 20 defense, and 20 into health regen. This will keep you alive through the majority of the content in the game. After you've completed all the story content in the game, you're going to want to do some things ASAP. The very first thing is getting your 8-slot weapon. So what you want to do is seek out this little person right here, Jinsore. Go ahead and talk to her, or him, or whatever it is. Click on the Legendary tab, and you want to buy these Dawn Rift weapon selection boxes. These Dawn Rift weapon selection boxes, you can buy them with Naryu Silver. You get a whole bunch of them for completing the story. If you don't have enough of these, you can farm more in Celestial Basin, which we'll touch on here in a second. So go ahead and buy one of these for the 5 Naryu Silver. When you go into your inventory and click on it, you can open it. We're just going to pick like the Rift Walk weapon to show you. Go ahead and hit confirm, and you'll get a Riftwalk weapon chest. Go ahead and hit take, go ahead and open, and you're going to get a Riftwalk weapon. So that one I got was 3 slots. You can basically continually do this over and over and over again until you get one that has 8 slots. These 8 slots, or these 8 rings that you see on your inventory, are crucial for the late game because you're going to get these items called gems, which we'll touch on in a minute, but the gems give you huge bonuses to the majority of your stats. So you want to be able to socket as many of those on the weapon as you can. By doing this from the early game, while you can do it at stage 1 and do this multiple times, it saves you a ton of money upgrading and unlocking these additional slots as you progress through the game. In addition to this, you're going to want to pick up the quest series called Know Thine Enemy and The Dead Refuse to Die. It'll pop up in your quest letters. Just check back frequently as you're playing through the game. Eventually they will pop up in there. You're going to want to knock those out because it gives you your Naryu Sanctum legendary bracelet. The quests require you to do dungeons and different weekly raids. It shouldn't be too difficult to do after completing the story. Just look in the faction chat for people recruiting for the raids or the dungeons or whatnot that you need to do. If it's a dungeon, you can also try looking for party in the F8 menu. So you finish the story, you finish those side quests, you got your 8 slot weapon. The next thing we're going to talk about is your daily routine you're going to do every single day you log into Blade & Soul. The very first thing on that list is your daily challenge. As a new player, they changed the daily challenge to only needing to do the first 2 dungeons of the daily challenge every single day to get the daily challenge reward. The daily challenge reward has a ton of upgrade materials, some solar energies that let you buy some pretty cool stuff, some gold, and reputation for the Unity system. We're going to be talking about a lot of these different items as we progress through this video, but just know that you want all this crud from the daily challenge on the 2 slot. The easiest way for a new player to get the 2 daily challenges complete is going to be a mid-Bummer Night stream, as well as either a Rose from the Past or the Cold Storage dungeon. These 2 rotate back and forth. Heaven's Mandate and Cold Storage go back and forth every single day. The dungeon can be completed in the F8 lobby. Just go ahead and search for a party using the F8 key. Just go ahead and press F8 on the keyboard, look for dungeon, and find the dungeon you need. A Mid-Bummer Night stream is a solo area completed in Moon Refuge. I have tons of guides on Moon Refuge. I'll link those in the description below if you don't know how to get to Moon Refuge. After you complete your 2 slot for the daily challenge, you're going to want to work towards the 4 slot for the daily challenge. The 4th daily challenge gives you Ascension and Radiant Stones, which are used in the Unity system, which we'll touch on later, as well as a Raid Treasure Selection Chest or a Dungeon Treasure Selection Chest, depending on which day of the week it is. And all these items are also needed to progress your character. After you've done the daily challenge, you're going to want to head back over to Moon Refuge and farm up as many Moonlight Buds as you can. We're going to touch on Moon Refuge next, and you'll see why you want to get as many Moonlight Buds, but that'll be part of your daily grind. Another stop you could take along the way is going over to Mushin's Hall, which is located over here on the map, and doing the Tower of Infinity. The Tower of Infinity is a daily dungeon thing that you can do 2 times a day. As you clear floors of it, it simulates PvP battles. The higher floor you reach, the more rewards you get. It gives you some soul stones, which you can sell on for gold and make some money, so a little bit more progression items for a new character. Finally, you're going to want to look through the faction chat for people hosting Skybreak Spire raids, or the weekly raids as well if they pop up. Look for ones that have no requirements as a party recruit. You don't want to get into one that needs specific requirements. It'll have a bad raid leader and end up getting mad at you, and you just don't want to deal with that. So look for ones that are willing to carry newer players. You have a week to do these, so don't feel rushed like, oh my gosh, it's day 3 of the week and I haven't gotten one yet. Just keep looking, eventually you'll find one that'll fit your needs. And that is going to be what you want to do every single day in Blade & Soul when you log in. Try and find some raids, get your daily challenge done, and farm Moonlight Buds is basically the TLDR there. All of those topics, I have more in-depth detailed videos on the channel. They'll be linked below, or you can just search them out specifically yourself. Alright, so in the next portion of the video, we're going to start going through all the different things as a new player you want to farm and you want to do to start gearing your character and make it so you can do more difficult content in the game. The first stop on this grinding journey is going to be Moon Refuge. I have lots of dedicated video guides on Moon Refuge, so if you're looking at how to get to Moon Refuge or more detailed info on all the things you do here, check out those videos. They're linked in the description below. But the TLDR version of Moon Refuge. When you first get here, you're going to run and talk to this dude, the tree man right here. He's going to give you a Mid-Bummer Night stream, which, spoiler alert, is the daily challenge that you need to do in this area anyway. You want to complete that quest, as well as all these little side quests called Zavnar's Zeal. Zavnar's Zeal can be picked up from your quest journal by pressing J on the keyboard. Quest letters, scroll all the way to the bottom, Zavnar's Zeal. You'll complete that quest multiple times. Every time you complete it, go ahead and pick it up once again from that quest journal, so you always want to have a Zavnar's Zeal active while you're doing a Mid-Bummer Night stream. After you've finished a Mid-Bummer Night stream, head on back over to this merchant at this location and trade in the chest that you got from Zavnar's Zeal, the Moonlight chest, as well as the reward, Starlight Powder, for completing a Mid-Bummer Night stream for Starlight chests. Open these boxes, they have a chance at some gold, some EXP charms, but they also give you a guaranteed drop of Moonlight Buds. After you've done this 4 times, you can't do it anymore, and you're going to want to open up just Moonlight chests and continue to farm this area for the Moonlight Buds. What are Moonlight Buds? Moonlight Buds are the currency that you need to buy all the different legendary gears that are available in Moon Refuge that you're going to want to pick up. So as a new player, you're going to need about 2,000 of these Moonlight Buds, and we're going to go through the order that I would pick up different items in this area. So go ahead and talk to this merchant, and we're dragging the camera here back in the center, or the shop menu in the center. Go to the second tab, and you want to pick up all 8 pieces of the Fallen Soul Shield set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is going to set you back 1,440 of the Moonlight Buds, and this will be the first thing you want to pick up here. Huge bonus to your DPS and actual playability of many classes in the game. After that, you're going to want to pick up, and in this order, King's Gloves, Skyguard Horizon Belt, but you want to pick up the Horizon Belt of it, so when you open it, it's going to say, would you like a Skyguard or a Horizon Belt? You're going to pick Horizon Belt. You want the Horizon Belt. The next one I'm going to recommend is a little bit controversial because it's not really the best in slot for a new player, but I still think it's a strong bonus for a new player. And that is going to be the Elevation Necklace, which comes from the Sky Sunder Elevation Chest. So open up this box and pick Elevation Necklace. Next, if you haven't gotten your Naryu Sanctum bracelet yet from completing the Know Thine Enemy and Dead Refuse to Die quest lines, you can pick it up here. So make sure you do get that bracelet because it is a solid bonus to your character. And finally, in this area, you're going to want to navigate to the third tab and pick up one each of the Xanos, Mechanizer, Dark Vicar, Locked Starstone, and Locked Rootwell weapons. So once again, this will set you back 2,000 Moonlight Buds. You can do about 40 a day by doing the daily challenge in this area. So if you want to go via that route, you're looking at about 50 days to get all of the Moonlight Buds you need. Or if you want to just hardcore farm it, you can probably get about 100 to 150 an hour by grouping up with a party, like you see right here that's saying Spider 3 out of 6. Try and find a party that's doing that. Join them, kill spiders with them, and do the Zavnar Zeal quest a lot faster than if you were to do it solo. But that basically summarizes your time in Moon Refuge. Now we're going to head on over to Celestial Basin. Once again, if you need more info on Moon Refuge, I do have links in the description below with a ton of guides on Moon Refuge. Anyway, let's head over to Celestial Basin. So you have 3 primary reasons to visit Celestial Basin. The first one is this coin exchange merchant Liu Jin right here. Reason number 1, which I'll mention again briefly later in this video, is that she provides upgrade materials that you need for upgrading your weapon and various accessories in the form of Blackstone fragments and treasure pouches. Reason number 2 is because she has the 2 weapons that you need in order to upgrade your weapon, the Ujara weapon chest and the Cyrock weapon chest. You will need both of these in order to upgrade your legendary weapon from stages 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. After which, the weapons you need are the ones that we got from Moon Refuge a few minutes ago. And the third reason is because the bosses that roam the areas, primarily located in this area of the map, this area of the map right here, and sitting right here in the middle of this circle, all drop Naryu Silver, and as we mentioned earlier in the video, you need Naryu Silver to re-roll your weapon until you get an 8-slot weapon. So for any of those 3 things, upgrade materials, the first 2 weapons in the weapon upgrade tree, and Naryu Silver, Celestial Basin is the place you're going to stop. Once again, I have videos on Celestial Basin, but your quick TLDR, you're going to get random quests over on the right side of your screen. They're going to pop up below your minimap. Completing these quests rewards you with a certain amount of peaches. After you've acquired enough peaches, which show up to the right of your name above your EXP bar, you can exchange them for the items that we just mentioned. Which once again, treasure pouches and Blackstone fragments to upgrade your gear, and the Ujara and Cyrock weapons to upgrade your weapon. And that's pretty much it for Celestial Basin. The next thing we're going to discuss is going to be getting your Skybreak Spire accessories, mainly the earring and ring. So as a new player, this is going to be your first raid gear or your raid accessory or raid item that you're going to pick up, and it's a pretty easy one to gain. All you're going to want to do is look in the faction chat in the bottom left side and look for people that seem like they're friendly recruiting a Skybreak Spire raid. You know, no gear requirements, things that say like open bid or rolling accessories. What you're going to want to do is join that party and then send the raid leader a message personally and ask them, hey man, I need these accessories. So like if they drop, can I have them please? And like be all smiley and happy. And if they say that they're going to roll them away, just say, okay, well, make sure you include me on the roll. Just try and be polite and friendly with the people, you know. A positive community really helps to keep the game going. At any rate, things you want to look out for are people that say reserved in their recruit message, like accessories reserved. It basically means that whatever drops they're keeping for themselves or giving it to someone that's in their clan or their raid or someone else in the raid already has it and they're giving it away to them. So you're not going to have any chance of getting anything else. Remember once again that you have a whole week to do these, so you have a lot of different recruit messages that might pop up throughout the time as you go through this. As far as upgrading these accessories, your first and your biggest major breakpoint is at stage 4 for both the ring and the earring. It's when you get additional effects, and then you don't really get any super amazing additional effects until you get to the way later stages of it. When you're deciding which one to pick, you're going to want to go ahead and do a parse or do a fight or fight any boss and look at the DPS meter that pops up in the top right corner of the screen. Under those, look and see what skills do the most damage, and as far as which accessory you pick whichever one increases the thing that did the most damage in your rotation or in your total DPS. It's that simple. You just want to basically boost whichever skill you have that's doing the most damage. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about is Soul Shield Infusion. Once again, I think I have like 3 15-minute videos on Soul Shields and how to infuse them and all of that, but we're going to try and give you the quick TLDR version. If you need more info on this process, check out the other videos. So Soul Shields, you have them. You probably have your 8-piece Fallen Soul Shield set, as I recommended you get, over in Moon Refuge at this point. You can actually take any piece of your Soul Shield, click Manage Equipment on it, and bring up this menu, the Soul Shield Infusion menu. You can either reinforce or fuse the Soul Shield. Fusing Soul Shields involves taking 2 of the same piece and putting them together to boost the stats of the original piece. Reinforcing allows you to apply an item called the Soul Shield base to it to boost an additional stat that may or may not be on the shield. For example, if we hover over my 8th piece, you can see I have critical 708. It's 458 plus 254 from Infusion. So how do you go ahead and do that Soul Shield Infusion or reinforcement or whatever you want to call it? The first item you need is a Soul Shield base. Soul Shield bases can be purchased off the marketplace. Just go ahead and open up the marketplace, type in Soul Shield base. Actually, you might just have to type in Shield base. When you see that, you're going to get Artisanal Shield base bundles as well as the Masterwork if you go enough tabs in. So pick up whichever ones you want of these. You can also craft these using the Soul Wardens Guild if you are a member of the Soul Wardens Crafting Guild. After you've gotten some Soul Shield bases, head on over to the Dragon Express. Scroll down the first tab and you're going to see all these Soul Shield primers. So you have every single stat that's available to boost in the game available here. You trade in the shield bases for the shield primers. I'm just going to go ahead and recommend a new player get 8 of the Artisanal Critical Soul Shield primers. This is going to set you back like 70 gold, or you can craft it yourself in the Soul Wardens once again. After you've got your 8 Critical Soul Shield primers, you go ahead and hop on in over to a Soul Shield piece. Manage Equipment. Click it there. It's going to ask you to put some materials in there, and you can infuse or reinforce the Soul Shield piece with the bonus critical stat. Do that for all 8 pieces of the Fallen Soul Shield set that you picked up. So the next thing we're going to talk about is upgrading your weapon in Blade and Souls. So the very first question I get asked all of the time is, should I get the Rift Walk or the Dawnforged weapon? And the honest answer, it doesn't really matter because your objective is to hit Aransu 3 as fast as possible as a new player. Sure, there's going to be a little bit of a DPS difference depending on which class you pick and which weapon you end up choosing, but it's so minuscule, and once again, it'll make up for so little of your playtime in the game that you really don't need to worry too much. If you're still really hung up on this and really stuck, just pick the Dawnforged weapon. It just gives you a flat bonus damage, and it'll be okay for like 90% of the game. Some classes like the Earth Destroyer do benefit more from the Riftwalk weapon, but if you're stuck, can't decide, just go Dawnforged. Anyway, like I said, our main goal is to hit the Aransu 3 weapon stage as fast as possible. So we have 2 different options. We can either take our Riftwalk and Dawnforged weapon over to the Raven tier, or we can go all the way up the Riftwalk Dawnforged weapon, then jump to the Raven tier, then go to the Aransu. They actually balance this pretty well, and as far as gold cost for the items used, it's going to take about the same time, or same cost of items to make that upgrade. What I would recommend for a new player is to go up the Riftwalk and Dawnforged path anyway, because you have all of those weapons that we can get from Moon Refuge as well as Celestial Basin, meaning you don't have to reliably get into a Skybreak Spire raid. The final transition from Raven 9 to Aransu 3 is going to require a Hive Queen material that you can just purchase off of the marketplace. Just type in whatever you see there. They're usually up for sale for relatively cheap prices compared to other upgrades in the game. This upgrade is going to take you a significant amount of time to do. You need a whole boatload of materials that'll all be listed on the upgrade path. So if I go ahead and click this and set this as my target equipment, and then I specify my starting equipment down here, you'll see all the different materials you need. So now we're going to go through these different materials and tell you where to pick them up. Raven King's Ferocity as well as Raven King's Souls are obtained from the Raven King Skybreak Spire raid, which you should be doing anyway to get your Skybreak Spire accessories. Once again, we already said the Hive Queen material can be just purchased off the marketplace, so nothing too crazy there. Premium Transformation Stones as well as Transformation Stones can both be crafted, however 99.999% of the time they're cheaper just to buy off the marketplace. So press F5 on the keyboard and buy them with gold. Same thing goes for Imperial Spirit Stones, you can craft them but cheaper just to buy off the marketplace. Legendary elements are purchased off of the Dragon Express. That's the only way to obtain them is via 15 gold or trading in elements. 15 gold is pretty much the best way to go on that. It's a lot less of a hassle to deal with. Black stones are obtained from doing your daily challenge, or we can get those in Celestial Basin as we pointed out earlier. Hive Queen's Heart are only obtainable from the VT raid. However, they're also purchasable off of the marketplace, so they're really not too bad just to go ahead and buy them. Soulstone Crystals, Moonstone Crystals, Sacred Crystals, and Elysian Crystals are the upgrade materials that we get for completing the daily challenge every day, so that's why you want to be doing that as many days as you possibly can. If you're really in a pinch, you can go ahead and farm Celestial Basin for pouches to be able to get these items as well. Gold itself is only really obtainable from dungeons right now. There's no real go ahead and farm gold method in the game, so you will need to be conscientious of how you spend and how you keep your gold in the game. Alright, while we're on the topic of upgrades, let's go ahead and talk about the other items in your inventory to upgrade. So we know where to get all these different upgrade materials. Let's talk about the upgrades themselves. Your accessories, earring and ring, those ones, like we said already, you're going to want to put those up to stage 4 each for the Skybrick Spire ring and earring. The necklace and the belt are both going to be left at stage 1. Don't even bother upgrading those. They provide minuscule stats, and you're going to be replacing the necklace eventually anyway with the VT necklace after you get into a VT raid. The bracelet that they now send out, that Narya Sanctum bracelet, I'm pretty sure only lets you upgrade it to stage 1. I think they changed how it worked. I actually don't have a new one to know, so I do apologize. But at any rate, it's not even worth upgrading if they do still let you upgrade it, because you're going to be replacing it with a new bracelet as well pretty soon here. Gloves are another item that you don't really need to bother upgrading. They have a higher tier of that already. We have the Mystic and the Soul Badge, so you do want to try and get your Aransu Mystic Badge or your Dynasty Mystic Badge as soon as possible. There's an event going on right now. If we look at the current event going on right now, event tab, you can get either the Aransu or the Dynasty Mystic Badge for the current event's currency of Radiance Cores. After that, you're going to have to either do the Temple of Illuvium raid, which you see I'm saying that a lot. It's the VT raid, the Temple of Illuvium raid, and that'll be your next step after you get all this gear, so that's when you can pick those items up. Or you can purchase the item off of the marketplace that lets you get those items. Either way, it's up to you how you want to go about that. Your soul badge, you can work towards your fused badge, but really not a huge deal, except for some classes. It really makes it a lot easier to play, but for the most part, not a super high priority upgrade. Just something to think about as you start working towards upgrading your gear. Then we come to the bottom row of the soul, heart, pet, and talisman. And Levi doesn't have his talisman because he didn't finish the story because he's a bad person. Do as I say, not as I do. At any rate, I have a video breaking down all of these items, these bottom 4, which one's the best to upgrade and what tiers to stop upgrading them at. So make sure to check out the video, linked in the description below. But spoiler alert, the soul and the heart are the only ones you want to even bother upgrading. So I'm having preemptive nightmares about this soul badge thing where I said don't worry about upgrading it. A lot of classes do really benefit from upgrading the soul badge. And when I say upgrading soul badge, I mean going to this manage equipment tab, fusing 2 of them together to get your fused soul badge. A lot of classes benefit from these fused soul badges. But as far as a new player, the items that you need to get this soul badge fused are kind of out of reach at the current moment in the game for you. So don't waste your resources and time budgeting these materials and saving them up until you have a reliable way to pick them up, i.e. being able to do Temple of Illuvium raid. A lot of the items that we've been talking about recently are Temple of Illuvium raid, which we'll touch on here at the end of the video. For now, just take whichever one of these fits best with your current playstyle. Alright, so now we are going to get into the huge topic of gems. I have a whole 20-minute video dedicated to all of the different gems in the game, what they do, how they work. If you want to watch that video, feel free to check it out. Link is in the description below. But I'm going to try and give you the super TLDR version of this. So your weapon has gem slots, and actually your pet has gem slots too, but they are different gems. We're talking about the weapon gem slot right now. If you did the reroll method, you should have 8 slots underneath your weapon to socket in 8 different gems. Each gem has different stats that gives you different bonuses. The priority of these gems is going to be Diamond, Aquamarine, Amethyst, Ruby, Obsidian, Garnet, and then whichever 2 you want, entirely up to you. The reason you want those 6 for sure is because they give you health regen, guaranteed crits, bonus mystic damage, which is like the highest scaling stat in the game, and focus recovery. Those gems really help make your gameplay a lot easier in the game. The bottom 2 can be whichever ones are more situational for you, if you're stunning the enemy a lot, if you need more defensive stats, etc, etc. I rock the Peridot and the Sapphire, so if I miss an attack, the Sapphire gives me some health recovery and guaranteed crits, and the Peridot gives me some additional healing whenever I RNG block something. But there are different options you can select there depending on what you want to do. The majority of the gems are obtained from gem selection chests, which are available from events. So if we go to the Dragon Express, look at the current event, you will see that there is a Hongmoon octagonal gem selection chest. You see all the different gems you can select from right there. This is pretty much the only way for a new player to pick one of these up. Sometimes they do drop from Heaven's Mandate and cold storage, but most reliable way is going to be event currency. So as a new player, I would recommend after you get the big ticket item from events, and usually I create a video on every single event and tell you what the big ticket item is, what you should really be shooting for. For example, in this event, it is the Aransu or Dynasty Mystic badges. But as a new player, you're going to want to pick up the gem selection chest to try and get a full octagonal set of gems as soon as possible. The 2 other gems that are not available on that menu, the Obsidian and the Garnet, have their own unique methods of acquisition. So the Garnet is obtained from Midnight Sky Petal Plains. It's something that's recruited right here. You can see it right here by this Quachi person. Congrats, you're on a video. But Midnight Sky Petal Plains has a chance to drop it at the later stages. Or you can get it from Coldrake's Lair and use the Exchange Merchant. Jinsore, the same person that we got our Dawnrift weapon selection chest from earlier in the video, is the Coldrake Exchange Merchant, and she has the hexagonal garnets. for 60 Coldrick scales. Coldrick's Lair is the dungeon that occurs. It pops up with a little red head in the bottom right corner of your screen. Go ahead and do that whenever it's available for a chance at those Coldrick scales once per day. The Obsidian for a new player is most easily exchanged for the solar energies that you get for completing your daily challenge. So if you scroll down the list, you will see the hexagonal gem selection chest, which we don't even want to bother with. It's not worth the amount of effort for it. But we do want to go for the pentagonal obsidian. We can combine those pentagonal obsidians via the transmute menu to create higher tiered and higher tiered and higher tiered, all the way up to a gilded triangular obsidian. So you can continue to build up those pentagonal obsidians as you get them. And all right, I think the only thing left on my list that I need to cover for a new player is the Unity system. If you look in the bottom left corner of your screen, you'll see the little Unity rank icon. The Unity rank is shared across all of your characters on your account and is increased by completing the daily challenge every single day, doing different dungeons, raises the Unity rank. The higher your Unity rank, you get bonus stats that you see down here in the attributes menu. The second tab of the Unity system is the Splendor Stone system. You gain Splendor Stones for completing cold storage, as well as Heaven's Mandate gives you these frozen feathers that you see in my inventory right here. Exchange the frozen feathers for Unity Stones, which you then socket into the Unity system. Also, for completing the daily challenge, specifically the fourth option of the daily challenge, completing 4 daily challenges, gives you a Challenger Splendor Stone chest, which gives you an Ascension or Radiant Stone. Socket those suckers in to get additional bonus stats. As a new player, don't kill yourself over getting purple stones. Get a full set of blues and call it a day for a while. You can continually work towards progressing this, obviously, as you do the daily challenge, but after you've got that first set of blues, don't go too crazy about min-maxing it. They're just nice bonus stats to help make your gameplay a little bit easier. If you want a lot more information about the Unity system, check out that other video. Link is in the description below. So now at this point, you should pretty much not be considered a new player anymore. You should be able to start doing more difficult content. Clearing the fourth tab of the daily challenge every single day shouldn't really be too much of a challenge for you at this point. You basically have everything you need to do to start really experiencing Blade and Soul. So what are your next steps as an intermediate player to start working towards becoming an endgame player? Well, the very first thing on this list is going to be Temple of Illuvium. Temple of Illuvium is the raid that's located right here in the Stars Gardens. It's really right over here. It's a raid. You can look for recruit messages in faction chat. You might have to try and find a clan or something in the game that's running it regularly to take you in to be able to run it. It's not quite super easy to do. It's pretty easy just to find a party and do because most people know what they're doing, but it's not like at that point yet in the game where you could just go ahead and do it like you could do a Skybreak Spire. Completion of that raid is going to give you a couple of different accessories that we need. The first is known as the VT necklace. This will replace that necklace that we got over in Moon Refuge and something you'll definitely want to pick up. In addition to this, as we already mentioned, you're going to get your Dynasty or Aransu Mystic badge from this raid as a drop. And the raid also drops items you need to fuse your soul badge. Like we mentioned earlier, you need those items to fuse it. So this raid is going to get you pretty solidly geared. Obviously, after this point, you're going to want to upgrade your weapon up to the Aransu Stage 9, as you are currently doing the Aransu tier raid. So you'll want to get that up into that Aransu 9 before moving on to the next raid tier. Are you sensing a theme here? You move from Skybreak Spire raid to the Temple of Illuvium raid, or VT. The next one is the Grand Celestial raid, and then finally the Eternity Temple, or ET raid. So yeah, basically at this point, as an intermediate Blade and Soul player, you're going to want to continually move your way through these different raid progression tiers and get the different gear that each raid provides for its completion. So the next one, Grand Celestial, gives you an upgrade to the Skybreak Spire ring and earring accessories, as well as a new Soul Shield set. The Soul Shield set can also be obtained from MSP. So after you've completed the Aransu raid, if you're not quite ready to get into the Grand Celestial raid, you can go ahead and do MSP to get the 8-piece Soul Shield set for the Grand Celestial raid, and then try it again after you get the bonus stats from the Soul Shield set. There's a lot of different avenues and tips and tricks and sorts of things you can do to continually progress your character. Obviously, along the way, continue to upgrade your soul and heart, and you'll also want to start probably pumping in some points into the pet for bonus defensive stats. As far as gear progression goes in the game, it's really super straightforward. Let's take a look at the Skybreak ring for an example. So let's say you've upgraded your Skybreak Spire ring all the way up to this final stage right here, the Awakened Skybreak. What's next? Oh, the Unrefined Celestial. Where do I get that? The Grand Celestial Raid, Nightfall Sanctuary. So it literally tells you where you need to go next. Once you've reached the top of whatever tier, that's it. There's no more progression for that item. Let's take another look at another one here. So we get the Divine Dragon and Tiger Bracelet from that Naryu selection chest. What's next on the list? Oh, the Starbreaker or Divinity Bracelet. Okay, what's after that? The Storm Siege or the Wild Song Bracelet. You literally just follow straight up the paths as they go. Really simple progression. If you're stuck on what you need to upgrade to the next one, if you hover over the item, it tells you where you get it. So this next one is available from Cathedral Cliffs, so you need to run the Cathedral Cliffs area. And as a new player, and after going through everything in this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to upgrade gear, where to find different items, everything you need to know for progressing. So I have full faith in your ability to complete the progression here in Blade and Soul. So I do know that this video was a lot to take in. We covered a lot of topics, so I'll be putting the script for this video in my Discord if you want to be able to check that out. So make sure in my Discord, link is in the description below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope this video helped you. If it did help you, make sure to leave a like, check out some of the other videos on the channel, and make sure you're subscribed so you stay updated when new content comes out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Peace.